Very good morning to all of you. Well, welcome to the session, guys. My name is Leher Nichon. I'm your mentor for the IELTS class. I'm a certified IELTS trainer. I have over 13 years of experience, and I've helped a lot of students to pave their path towards getting their desired band scores. IELTS basically paves your path to go to a foreign country, either of the two purposes. It can be either for your academics or for your migration, right? So we have two types of IELTS: academic IELTS and general IELTS test. So academic IELTS is for the students who want to study abroad, and general IELTS is for the students who are taking it for the migration purpose. You have a sponsorship in hand, you're going to work to a foreign country, or you're going for your permanent residentship. So then you need to take general IELTS, right? So, welcome once again to the session. This session will give you all the insights and solve, if at all you have any discrepancies or doubts in your mind regarding how the classes are going to process. I've been taking online classes now for around 7 years. IELTS basically switched into online when during the COVID times, there were a lot of students who had registered for the test, and because of social distancing, it was not possible to go in person and take the test, and so was the difficulty with the coachings as well. So we guys switched to the online module. IELTS initially was an only traditional test, it was an only paper and pencil test, like you used to write it with a piece of paper, on your paper. But now, during those time, like you say, necessity is the mother of invention. So during those COVID times, IELTS CBT came into picture. CBT means the computer based test. So since then, it's been such a hit that students were very comfortable, the examiners were very comfortable. Even the coachings and the way you take the test is also, in the form of CBT now, computer based test. So now we have two types of files: traditional, that is paper pencil, and computer based. So you can take either of the two, guys, okay, whatsoever is, suits you more according to your willingness and according to your preference, according to your forte. If you're more comfortable in writing, then you go for the traditional test. If you're more comfortable in typing, then you go for the CBT test. So these type of petty details and a lot of information about the modules, about how you need to take the test, about what are the prerequisites of the IELTS test. I think after this 1.5 hour class, you'll be very convinced. You'll get to know a lot about the IELTS test, and what are the skills and strategies required to take the test. Apart from this, only I'm also going to give you the insight into the class structure, because I think that a lot of students have those inhibitions regarding apprehensions regarding the class, like how it will process, how is your mentor, maybe the person is learned enough, good enough, and how the classes seamlessly. Because in online, seamlessness is a very important point, that it should go seamlessly without any hassle, with an individual attention being given to every student. So I'll solve all your queries, and do not hesitate, in asking anything. Of course, you guys have been very kind and gentle. Everybody is on mute, so this is my personal request also, to be on mute while I'm speaking. So videos and audios are off. But after every section, when I'm done, I will ask you if there's any problem. So you simply need to, guys, raise your hand. All right? There's an icon in all of you have in the Zoom, that you can simply raise your hand. So I will definitely address a hand raised. So if you have any concern, if you have any doubt, whether if you feel it's a very silly question, do not hesitate. Just simply raise your hand and ask me the question. I'll give you the answer to that. Okay? It must be relevant to what we are doing, relevant to IELTS and the classes, the processing and the functionality of the classes. So if you have any doubt regarding it, you simply have to raise your hand. Is that clear? So now, guys, I'm going to start with the session. I will share a screen with you. Then we'll process and see the details of the classes and about our classes and the IELTS session, everything. All right. So let me just share the screen and then we'll begin. Welcome to the IELTS demo class. Just a minute, guys. Progress. Yes. All right, so let's begin. So welcome to the IELTS demo class. First of all, guys, IELTS is an abbreviation, okay? So IELTS, it stands for International English Language Testing System. This is a test which tests your English basically because you're going to a foreign country, maybe you're going for a study or for migration, but you'll have to interact with the people of that country, right? With the natives of that country, with for work purpose, you'll have to do a lot of communication. You have to be well versed in language. Even if you go to the university, so you have any problem, you need to talk to the university coach, you need to talk to your professors or your fellow friends. So language is basically a barrier when you're going to a foreign country. So IELTS, irrespective of whatever stream you are going to, like medical, non-medical, your any diploma or any graduation or undergraduation course, irrespective to anything, all the students, whether you're a doctor, engineer, or a working professional, you have to prove that I'm good enough in English so that I'll not have this language barrier when I go to the foreign country, right? So it's an international English language test. So IELTS syllabus, IELTS curriculum for all of you from different domains and streams is similar because this is an only English proficiency test. You have to prove your proficiency in English. So welcome to the demo class. Um, First of all, International English Language Testing System, as you all know, it's world's number one largest language proficiency test. So, going to US, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, even now the European countries, they also accept IELTS. So a lot of universities, they accept the IELTS test when it's world's number one, undoubtedly number one English language proficiency test. 3 million plus IELTS test sectors were taken, IELTS tests were taken in the past. So the number of students increasing every year to take IELTS, it's exponential, it's humongous. So a lot of students are definitely paving their paths towards their dreams. They go to the foreign universities, they study there, they work in that country, in your own country, whatsoever, but it just opens your doors to multiple options, right? So 3 million plus IELTS tests were conducted in the last year. It's accepted over 10,000 organizations, across 140 countries. So it's a highly acceptable test. In US also, if you want to take, sometimes you see that along with IELTS, you have to take SAT or GRE, some other specification, but IELTS is mandatory. So 10,000 organizations across 140 countries are accepting this test. It opens your doors to higher education, one, as I told you, academic students, and then for migration as well. Okay. So, guys, if there's any problem with my voice clarity, if you're not able to listen to me properly, please raise your hand, right? So then also, because if I need to, because it's an online class, if at all there's any hassle, any glitch with the internet or any network concern, you can simply interrupt in the class as well that, ma'am, I cannot hear you or your voice is not clear, right? So do let me know. Otherwise, I take care from a separate device as well that my clarity and my video is going on well. But if at all I ignore and I'm not able to, you're not able to hear me properly, please let me know. Now, IELTS, guys, is conducted by an
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes.
Just wanted to check, are you sharing any screen? Because it's not visible.
It's not visible, the screen I've shared.
Not to me, I'm not sure
Yes,
about
yes,
others.
it's not visible. Thank you so much for telling me. Yes, it's not visible. Yes, I was sharing, but that's what I say, sometimes there's just a glitch. Thank you, Isha. So you need to be vocal, guys. That's really nice. So that also shows your confidence that if you're not able to see, at least you raised your hand and you told me because I was just processing. So thanks for that. And like this, likewise, that's what I was telling you. If there's any glitch, if I also sometimes skip anything, please let me know. All right. Now you can see the screen, right? Yeah, thank you. So it is conducted by IDP, right? IDP IELTS Australia. So initially there were two entities, British Council and IDP. If you know, students used to have a lot of tiff in their minds, like, ma'am, whether to book IDP or whether to book British Council. It's like a government bank and a preferred, and a private bank. But now they've merged into one. Now, if you want to register your IELTS test, you just need to go to the IDP website and that's it. There's no second choice. So it's better that they've emerged and there's no specific choice, because if there's a choice, then you get a lot confused. Maybe you get better bands in this one or that one. So all those questions now are in vain. And we are going to follow, guys, the Cambridge English Language Assessment curriculum. Cambridge being the most prestigious English university. It is in Cambridge authorized test only, IELTS. So I'm going to share all the material with you. We are going to practice. We are going to learn everything from the Cambridge, and the material is immense. You will not find it anywhere undervalued, or the material is less. I'll go give you immense material which is enough for your practice. And if we just practice that material, it's going to be a very self-sufficient class, guys. Like, if you are coming with me, if you're joining with me, apart from this class, you don't need any other preparation. So we'll be doing it all. Any type of specific possible question that might come to you, because a lot of students from last so many years keep giving the test, so that patterns of what might come in your exam, or what speakings are important, what type of questions, and what type of questions in reading, writing. So I'll give you my speculations as well, like what is more important. And trust me, many a times it's very helpful with the students. So if you're joining this class, you have to be very convinced, and you can just rely on me. I'll teach you everything from the scratch till whatsoever is required. So you don't need to worry anything out of the box for IELTS. Now, this is important, guys. As I told you, that IELTS is in two forms. It's in paper pencil and it's in internet-based test. So this is perfectly a student's choice. You don't need to see whether your friend is taking this, so I take this, or whether my friend. It's about your choice, your preference, your forte, what you are comfortable more in. For example, if I still prefer the paper pencil test, because I'm very traditional and old school. So I really like the paper in my hand, the book in my hand when I'm reading it. So that gives me a sense of more clarity of what I'm reading rather than ebooks. So that's my choice. But I think students nowadays, maximum number of you are going for the CBT. So the major difference is that if you have to read something for the reading, you have to read it from the screen. So everyone nowadays is very well acclimatized of reading from the screen. We do it, I mean, all throughout the day. So it's not a very big deal. So you can take the CBT as well. So it's a personal choice. The major difference that I see is in writing and typing. So if you have a good handwriting, you can write well, you go for the traditional test. If you think that my writing is awful, it's not good, so you have a very better option. You go for CBT, because there you have to just type, so the hassle of writing also just disposes. So, you know, just a minute, sorry. So that's a personal choice, okay? Whether you take CBT or whether you take the internet-based test. Yes, there's one more difference, that in the traditional test, your result takes around 10 to 13 days to come out, right? But if you take the CBT test, your result just comes out in, say, a couple of days, hardly 1 or 2 days. Now, second thing is that IELTS is of two types. I already mentioned academic and general. I'd now like to know, do we have any general students? Please raise your hands. Anyone who's preparing for general IELTS?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just breathe. Okay, anyone else? Prasad? Rahul?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
So we have like 3 to 4 general IELTS test takers. Akhilesh, are you a general student?
No,
Diljit?
ma'am.
Okay. Diljit Kaur. Right, so 4 to 5, good. So I'll be telling you simultaneously the differences between the two as well. So while registering your test, guys, you have to fill in there, like whether you're a general IELTS student or you're an academic test taker. So you'll say that I'm a general test taker, okay? So your perspective of going is different, right? You're going for your migration, or as I said, you're going for your work permit or working, or you're going for your PR. So if you're not going for your higher studies, you are taking general IELTS, other way around. Duration of paper is 2 hours and 45 minutes. So in one go, guys, you have to sit back for 2 hours and 45 minutes at a stretch. There are no breaks in between. For example, even if you want to go to the washroom, you go use the toilet, there's no break in between. So I just suggest my students that when you go, you should be light on your stomach so that you don't need to, go for the washroom or having water, because it's at a stretch. They don't give you any breaks in between. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. Strictly, you have to be on your seat and write the IELTS paper. Now, these 2 hours and 45 minutes, guys, only include your LRW. It's popularly known as LRW. LRW means listening, reading, and writing. Okay, so any language. Now let's see what are the compositions of IELTS. IELTS composes of 4 modules: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. If you're accustomed, if you're good, well versed in a language, if you're proficient in a language, maybe your mother tongue. You see, in your mother tongue, we are so free, we are so carefree. Like whatever hey, come on, do this. Hey, in a mother tongue, we don't have to think, and we're just speaking, right? So we can just talk endlessly. So that's the comfort we have. The same comfort is required here with the English language as well. So that means speaking skill, that you can speak this language very proficiently without any delay, without any disruption, without any ambiguity, and without using any fillers. You have to just go speak in one go. So these are the 4 modules that showcase your grip on a language. Listening, for example, if I'm speaking in English, you can listen the language and you can understand it, I hope. Because see, guys, this class is going to be only in English. It's not a bilingual class. I'm not going to use any other language. It's going to be only English. Okay. So if you have any problem, if you don't understand anything, definitely you can ask me. But I'm not going to use very flamboyant words. I'm going to use very basic English initially. Yes, later on we'll work on the vocabulary as well, so that my perspective is that everybody at the same pace understands everything. So listening means that you can listen to someone speaking and you can understand. Writing means that if you want to speak your heart out, if you want to write it on a piece of paper, then if you've written something, it's understandable by the one who's reading it. So you write appropriately. You write taking care of all the elements of the language. Okay. Then reading. Prasad, please put yourself on mute. I keep muting you. You keep unmuting yourself. If you have to ask anything, you can raise your hand. So. Reading means reading an article. I hope that you all have read articles in your life. We all have done comprehensions. English is an integral part, even if you of your school and college life. So you've done comprehensions in English, where you read an article and then you answer the questions at the back which are associated to the article. IELTS readings are also pretty much like that. So now they make sure that the student is competent enough in listening, writing, reading, and speaking. Got it? So speaking is a separate section. It is not included in your 2 hours and 45 minutes process. Speaking is conducted one-on-one, and it's like you go personally to, they tell you that, for example, if you book your IELTS for 10th of March, say, so they give you the speaking dates 9th, 8th, and 13th. So you have to select yourself out of the given dates, like, okay, this is the date that I select. So maybe 8th you want to be done with speaking test prior your test, so you can select a date before or after your test. So you have to go to a premises specially, and they give you a time 4 p.m. You have to be at this premises at 4 p.m. So when you reach there, there's a closed compact cabin. It's like an interview. So you go to that cabin, and examiner is already sitting. Like today, you did not know who is going to be in front of you, and you found me, so I'm your examiner, for example. Like this, there'll be an examiner in front of you. It can be a male or a female or anyone. So he'll just tell you, you have to take your passport, you have to carry your passport and the hard copy of the speaking mail that you got. So you get these 2 things along with you. Except for that, they take all away your belongings, your phone, your smartwatch, whatsoever you had. So you just go with your passport and your hard copy of your mail. So they check your verify your passport. They see, okay, this is the same person who've come for speaking. So there's no, discrepancy there. So you sit in front of the examiner, and then this examiner starts asking you questions. It's a very intense 12 to 15-minute conversation that he has with you one-on-one. So on the basis of how you speak, on the basis of your body language, on the basis of your confidence, on the basis of your accuracy and relevance of your answers, plus definitely the language skills, the vocabulary, the grammar, the coherence, cohesion, the pronunciation, intonation, everything. This entire session is recorded. If they conduct your speaking online, sometimes you go to the premises, you sit in a different cabin and your examiner sits in a different cabin, but you are connected the same way like we are connected through a video call. So then also the entire video is recorded. But if you go for the physical test, they turn on a recorder. So whatever you speak is recorded. They turn on the recorder in front of you only. So whatever you speak. So the purpose of recording is that they, analyze your recordings 8 to 10 times before actually giving you a band score. So they'll see, if you've done a grammatical errors, or if you fumble while speaking, or if you use any kind of fillers while speaking. So whatsoever, is the problem. If you are speaking, if there's any delay in your speech, if there's any grammatical error in your speech. So they go through the recordings again to just see that how seamless what your speaking was, how effortless and how correctly you spoke, the grammatical variations, you showed in your speech. So everything. So then they give you bands in speaking. So getting a 6.5 is very easy. You're a decent average speaker, you get certain bands. But my aim is for you students to get an 8 or a perfect band score 9. And trust me, students are getting perfect band score 9 in speaking. I'll help you with the vocabulary. I'll help you with the most important and common types of questions that you might encounter in your speaking. So there's a lot that we are going to do in the upcoming sessions. So, you should not worry, as I said. So speaking is a separate, test, which is conducted separately. What are the elements of speaking? What are the elements of all other modules? I'll be telling you in the other upcoming slides. But out of these 4 things that we've done so far, till now, whatsoever we've done, is there any question, any doubt anyone has? Please raise your hands and you can ask me. Cool. Let's proceed. These are the key details, guys, which are very important. The full name of the test, now you already know, International English Language Testing System, conducted by IDP IELTS Australia. The website, guys, this is very important. Okay, whensoever now you start with your IELTS classes, please designate one notepad separately to IELTS, okay? So keep writing the important stuff that I might be telling you. I'll tell you this is important. Everything is not important worth writing, but this is a very good habit as a student to keep jotting down something which is important. I don't believe in taking screenshots. It's an online class. You might be taking screenshots. Please don't do it. Your gallery, I'm sure, is full. Mine is filled with like more than 2,000 pictures. I don't know where is which picture. So when I actually want to find, I'll be in a mess. So please note it down. So this is a separate notepad that you've designated to IELTS. Whensoever you want to do what ma'am did yesterday, you see the important notes and it'll be very seamless and easy for you. So write down whatsoever is important, keep writing down. So day 1, day 2, day 3, like I'm going to have a 30-day class process with you. We are going to be together for 30 days. So it's very important to keep writing. You trust me, you'll have so much of ease in the IELTS preparation if you just keep on writing. So the first thing here I think so far was important is www.ieltsidpindia.com. This is a very important website. Please note it down. If you have any query regarding when is the test, what is the time of the test, what are the dates available, I have to book. So all these information, is available on this website. The score validity of IELTS, guys, is for 2 years. For example, if you're taking it in March 2026, it's going to be valid till March 2028. If you retake IELTS if you somehow postpone your program of going to the university because of XYZ reason, you'll have to retake IELTS, okay? So because after 2028, it's null and void. The score is even if you got band score 8 or 9.8.5 or a very great score, you'll still have to retake IELTS. After 2 days, it's an expiry. The scores get expired. Exam fee is now revised. It's somewhere around 17,000. It's quite significant. It's not a very cheap, exam. It's a very significant fee. So I really don't want any of my students to refill because some students do come to me after already taking IELTS that they did not get their desired band score, so now they need again help. So it's not only about your time and money, it's also about the efforts that we are putting in together, which will definitely give you the result. So I can assure you that I will not let any of my students register the IELTS test for a second time, because I take 2 mock tests in between. The mock tests are replicas of your actual IELTS test. So I'm going to replicate the environment of the test, and you'll conduct your test will be conducted after 15 days. It will give me a very good idea of what my students, how they have performed, what you've learned from me in these 20 to 15 days. It's going to give me a good idea. So that score motivates me, like, okay, if you get 6.57 in that score, it's a very good score. It's commendable. I tell many of my students, only after the 15 days I'll give you a green signal that you go register your test. If I'm convinced with your scores, if I'm convinced with your performance, only then I'll tell you to book your test. Okay, so I'll not tell you otherwise. So we'll make sure that nobody does, so that you have to retake in any which way, because the exam fee, if you retake, you'll have to pay this 17,000 all over again. Payment modes, yes, debit card, credit card, everything is accepted, GPay, whatever. Exam duration, as I said, is 2 hours and 45 minutes. Exam centers, we have, initially when I started, students had to commute. They had to travel to a nearby metropolitan city or a big city to take IELTS. But now we have IELTS centers, test centers in every hook and corner of the city, every city almost, so you don't have to travel. So you get the privilege of writing your test or the CBT test in every city, most likely. Any question, anyone, so far out of the information that I've shared? Okay. So if you have any doubt, just simply raise your hand. Now, this is very important for me to tell you guys, okay? And this is the class structure. So how we go about the class structure? I will be giving you 30 classes in detail. You want to write? Please write it down, because I have done a little modification in this table that I'm sharing with you. A little modification, not much. So 25 classes I am giving to you, like 25 classes in total, but 2 mock tests are separate. So mock test also take a couple of days. It won't be conducted in one day, because it's a 2 hours 45 minutes. So we'll be dividing it in 2 days and then taking it. So total I'll be giving you 30 classes. Like now, this is the first class, the demo class, plus 29 more classes. Okay. So in total, we are going to be together now for 30 days. The time of the class, guys, is always going to be the same, because this is a separate batch that we've started 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Maybe for students who are working professional, who are students, or who are busy for the rest of the day. So this time suits you. So that's the reason we are here together in this time. So 8 a.m. is the class that I'm giving you. So 8 a.m. to 9:30. It's going to be a rigorous 1.5 hour class daily. We'll be meeting together from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And this is the way the classes are going to be conducted. I'll be here sitting, my video is on, and I'm teaching you. So whatsoever, is the purpose of my class for each day. I have a separate purpose of each class. Like day one, if I'm doing reading with you, I'll do reading with you to the core. I'll start it from the scratch. I don't do multiple things in one day so that your mind just gets cluttered. No, I'm not going to do that. I will take one thing, but I'll do it from the scratch. I'll tell you the tips, the tricks, the strategies. We'll do one open reading in the class. So we'll be very patient and calm. I'm in no haste, because the 30-day program is a very easy peasy going, comfortable program that I have for you. So we will not take any burden. It's just going to be a fun class for you, and we'll just enjoy and learn together. Okay. So no attention and stress should be involved in our classes. So 23 classes for IELTS and 2 mock tests, as I said. So 2 mock tests will give you the actual review of how you have performed. I will conduct your speakings also how. I'll let you know when I come to the speaking module. Your writings, I'll share my personal number with you. You have to write, your piece of writing or type it, and you click a picture and you share the PDF with me on my number. I will evaluate it, and I'll give self-evaluation and, a separate evaluation to each one of you personally. So that's very personal. I'll be giving you the writing evaluation personally. Speakings also are conducted one-on-one. Like when I conduct the speaking class, you'll see that the speaking classes are something that we thoroughly enjoy. It's a cross-learning process. One at a time, we are going to open our camera, and I'll be having interactions with each one of you. The others, meanwhile, they are learning from, because I give feedback to each student, a constructive feedback, okay? So you learn from your feedback, even your friends or your co-participants learn from your feedback. So ultimately, we learn a lot from the speaking, because we are together. Sometimes I learn a lot from certain students because they speak so well. The speaking skills are just commendable. I am in awe of certain students that how well they manage the questions. So what are the questions? How you have to answer the question? Someone who's outperforming or doing very well, so we get to learn from each other. You learn from me, I learn from you as well. So that's how the classes go. So reading day one, day two, day three listening, day four writing task one, day five writing task two. Likewise, I have my curriculum that I follow. So each day we will learn something. The first 10 days of the classes, guys, are very important. Do not skip them. Because then, for example, if we have tomorrow day one, if I start with reading, so I'm going to tell you the foundation of, exactly what are the prerequisites, how to take the reading, what things you should keep in mind. So this is very important. I'll not tell you again. I'll just feed you, spoon feeding, I'll do in the first 10 days. Then I will not do it. So it's important to attend the class, if at all, because there can be emergency cases, someone is not able to attend the class or present in the class. In that case, I'll also be providing you with the recordings of the class, right? So for example, this demo class also be in the recording class. So if you missed anything, you can just go and revisit that recording and you can check. So recordings are very important. I think it's an added privilege. So if at all you are not able to attempt day four, but you are there in the class day five, so please check the recording or day four before coming to day five, because I think I don't want you to miss, especially the first 10 classes. Okay, so you can, if at all not possible, you check the recordings. Then we have 2 mock tests. I already mentioned. Focus on the Cambridge IELTS books. All right. So Cambridge IELTS books, I'll be giving you. I'll be giving you 20 books, guys. Each book has 4 readings. So in all, I'm going to give you 80 to 100 readings, listening. There immense material, so you don't need to worry. 12 and 14 specifically is written here because it's a general book as well. I'll be giving general books to general students also. Each reading has 4 academic readings and 2 general readings when you check. So 2 general readings are there in every book. And there's no major difference in general and academics. When I tell you the modules in detail, I'll keep mentioning that. Enough practice material. So any question regarding the class or the class structure, you can please ask. Let's proceed. So this is, guys, how your test is conducted. All candidates are tested in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Listening is for 30 minutes, reading is for 60 minutes, writing is for 60 minutes again. Total test time is 2 hours and 45 minutes, excluding the breaks. The speaking is for 11 to 14 minutes, that, for 15 minutes, as I said, one-on-one conversation. So this is your test. This is how it is conducted. Good. So you get extra 10 minutes in the listening test. That's why you have 2 hours and 45 minutes. Extra time is given in the listening test. Why is it given? I'll tell you when we come to the listening part. Yes. So now I'm going to start with the listening, guys. What is listening? Okay. For example, I go to the test center to take my IELTS test. I'm sitting on my chair, I'm sitting on my seat. A very good premium quality headset is given to me. I'll wear it, I wear the headsets. Now, I'm also given a question paper in front of me. If you are a traditional test taker, you'll be given a question paper like this. Okay, their questions are written in blank, so you have to write your answers. If you're taking the CBT test, the questions are on screen and you are given the access to the computer. So you just have to listen to the conversation and you have to type or write the answers. Now, the answers are not in paragraph form, they are just objective type, 1, 2, or maximum 3 words answers. Now, when I wear the headsets, they will navigate me through everything. Okay, that we are starting with the listening test. Okay, the voice is very clear, you don't need to worry about anything. There's a conversation, for example, good morning, ma'am. What time is the first class? The first class is at 9 a.m. Ma'am, which lecture we're going to have? We're going to have the history class. So like this is a conversation, right? Now, when the question is in front of you is what is the time of the class? Dash. The question is paraphrased, okay? And which is the first class? Which is the first subject they are going to study? Dash. So you write 9 a.m. and you write history. Okay, so what happened? Whatever I've listened in the headset, the same type of questions are asked to me. So this is in chronological order. As the listening proceeds, so does the question. So they are going hand in hand, the questions and the listening. So to be very focused, listening is a test of focus and concentration. A lot of times, guys, I've seen students getting worse bands in listenings. Why? Because of visual distractions. Like you're sitting in the exam, because you are taking a online class. So when you're taking listening, you are doing it in your confined room. Maybe there's nobody to distract you. But when you are taking it in the examination hall, you might be distracted by the examiners, by the invigilators, by the other people who've come to. So you look here and there. You look here and there, the audio just goes on. The audio is not going to wait for you. Then you'll have a disparity in where is the audio and where is the question, because they are going hand in hand. And once you lose that track, trust me, the entire listening, you're not able to get hold of it. So you cannot afford to lose concentration in your listening test. You have to be your eyes glued to the question paper, your mind simply listening to what they are saying, and you focused on giving your answers and reading the questions at the same time. You have to read. So it's a multiple thing, you're reading, you're listening, you're writing. So it's a multitasking thing. So this is what listening is. Otherwise, let me tell you, it's a easiest module. It's the most easiest and the most a scoring module. You can just score 40 on 40 very easily if you're just concentrated. You have to listen to it carefully. There are 4 parts. Part 1, 2, 3, 4. Each part has 10 questions and each listening changes. Like the first one was a conversation between a teacher and a student. The second one is going to be a conversation between a doctor and a patient. Then it's between a travel agent and a customer. So it keeps on changing. Real life listening situations are given to you, and trust me, you're going to thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy listening. It's a very entertaining conversation at times. So if you listen to it, you learn a lot of things. There are very good topics that they talk about. And also the speaking is by the native English speakers. You must have seen I was also being pretentious with my accent when I was trying to imitate how the listening goes. So, because you're going to a foreign country, you'll have to interact with the natives. So, the English spoken here in the listening test is by the natives. So, you have to understand what the natives, some people who are acclimatized of watching Hollywood shows, or you listen to podcasts, or, in Hollywood by the natives, it's going to be easier for you. But if you are not, start doing it, because some people just cannot watch a movie without subtitles. So, you have to listen and understand what a foreigner or a native English speaker is speaking. So, that makes a difference. So if you're not much into it, start doing it. I will also give you immense material. That material only is very sufficient. You can just randomly take out listenings and start doing it. I'll be sharing the audios and the questions as well. So that's about it. Range of topics listenings are for specific information, dates, places, names, numbers. Then understanding the gist, understanding speaker's attitude and opinion. The format of the listening test, guys, goes like this. First is the conversation between 2 speakers. Then it's a monologue. Third is a conversation between 4 speakers. And then it's a lecture. So basically this format is followed, but it can be jumbled. Okay, I cannot give you 100% surety to this. So monologue. What is a mono? Mono means one. Only one person is talking, the other one is listening. Conversation between 4 people, multiple people talk. It gets a little complicated for the test taker to understand. So the level of difficulty, it keeps on increasing. Section 1 is very easy. Section 2 is also a little difficult. Section 3 and 4 then goes complicated. The pace of the speaker increases. There are multiple speakers, of course, then it gets difficult for you. So this is how it goes. The hierarchy of questions, and it just gets difficult with each passing module. Section 1 and Section 2 are very easy. So I think that's it about the listening test. The major challenges that you face is recordings are played only once. If at all you skip anything, you will not have the option to re-listen. So recordings are played only once. Read the questions carefully before listening. You have to read the questions very carefully. It really gives you an idea of what is the answer. And they give you time. Look at questions 4 to 7, read them. They give you a 10-20 seconds pause, and then they start with the conversation. So it's very well equipped. They'll navigate you through everything. I'm going to take listening with you on day 3. So when I do it in day 3, we'll do it in detail. We'll do one open listening in the class. I will do it with you. I'll tell you how to go through it. I'll navigate you through every point, every challenge. So you don't worry. You just need to know this much in the demo class that I'm telling you. Familiarize yourself with the question types, all the types of questions that might you encounter in the listening test, that also I'll tell you. Usually there's a completing of a chart, navigation through a map, fill in the blanks, note making exercises, MCQs. So this is it about the listening test. Now let me tell you one more thing about general and academic students. The listening test is same. There's no difference in the listening test by a general. Like we have 3 to 4 general students. Guys, your listening is exactly the way that I've told you. There's no difference. Then the major difference between the CBT and the paper pencil test takers. CBT test takers, you have the questions on the screen. You have to type your answers and keep on pressing enter to go to the next answer. You are also given a rough sheet if you want to. CBT test takers are also always given a rough sheet and a pencil. So you want to write anything, you can write it. So that's you okay. Now the traditional test takers will write, what is the first class 9 a.m. So you will write directly in this sheet. Now, after you've written these answers, you get extra 10 minutes to transfer because ultimately you get an OMR sheet. I'll show you an OMR sheet, in the classes sometime. So it's 1 to 20 written here, 21 to 40 written here, and there are lines. So this is the sheet, OMR sheet that you have to submit with your examiner. You don't have to submit your question booklet. So on the OMR sheet, you will transfer all the 40 answers. So you need 10 minutes for that. That is the extra time. Extra time is also given to the computer-based test takers. Why? Just to check your spellings, because when you are doing the listening, you're in a haste, because the recordings are going on. You might a spelling mistake in listening is a wrong answer. A lot of times I just have to cross the answer because it's a spelling mistake, and with a heavy heart I do that because you've got the answer but you've not got the correct spellings. So if it is a chocolate, it has to be CHOCOLATE. Students omit the O. If it is interest, you always write INTREST. It is INTEREST. So there are certain spellings, so you have to be careful. And it's by the foreigners, so they sometimes give you the addresses. For example, I stay at 19 Brookton Road. Now you don't know the spelling of Brookdown. What is this? So if that's a very complex word used, then they also spell it. Okay, Brookstone, BRROOKSD or whatever. So if they are telling you the spellings, quickly write the spellings. Don't miss it. So there are multiple things in the listening test. We'll do it as I said on day 3. For now, this is about the listening. If you have any question, please ask about the listening test. Any question? No? Are you understanding what I'm saying? There's no response? Yes? Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, thank you. A little bit of acknowledgement is all I need, right? All right, let's go to the reading section now. So after your listening, guys, the second test that you take is the reading test. So reading test is like a comprehension, as I told you. So it's a comprehension. An article is given to you, and then you have to answer the questions which are given to you at the back. And this is the process we are following in the reading test. Well, it is for 60 minutes. According to me, if you ask me, reading is a little demanding. It's a test which is a little demanding. It is a tedious process. Why? Because it's very high end on vocabulary. You have to understand the text properly in order to answer the questions. There are a lot of complications. For example, every question is paraphrased. The vocabulary used is very high end. Sometimes the topic that they are discussing is not of your interest, so it gets very difficult for us to read, but we have no choice. On the other hand, if you're an avid reader, if you like reading or like comprehension, it's not that difficult also. But yes, reading is demanding. You'll have to give your time and energy into reading test. You'll have to solve a lot of reading practice articles, and then you have to work hard in reading. Like I told you, listening is not very demanding. Reading still is. So there are 3 passages, 3 articles, and 40 questions. Because in reading, sometimes it gets difficult to manage the time. One passage, how much time will you take in doing one passage? Okay, tell me. If you're taking 1 hour to take 3 passages, what's your time that you will be finishing one passage in?
20 minutes?
Yes, absolutely, Amber. It's a simple question. I just wanted you guys also to participate a little. So that's why. So 20 minutes, of course, a simple mathematical calculation. 40 questions you have and 60 minutes you have. Ideally, you can just spend 1.5 minutes on each question. So it's not much because the questions are complicated. Sometimes we read, we understand, and we also have to read the article. We have to hunt the questions from the article. So 1.5 minutes is not much. If you get stuck on a question, you're not understanding it, you might just spend 3 to 4 minutes on one question. So you're just wasting your time. So there are multiple things in reading that we need to understand. I'm going to take tomorrow reading in detail because I think it's the difficult, hardest module. So I'll start with it. So we'll do it tomorrow. But as of now, what you need to know is that there are 3 passages and there are 60 minutes. Books, magazines, journals, and newspapers. The reading texts are very authentic. They are very reliable. You read it. Sometimes you enjoy them and then you can just give your answers. The type of questions that you have in the reading test are find detailed information, identify attitudes and views, complete a diagram, flowchart, MCQ, and multiple more types of questions that I'll be doing it with you tomorrow. There are basically 10 to 12 type of questions that are asked to you in the reading test. General strategies also I'll do with tomorrow. One is written here. Okay, I'll just explain skimming and scanning. Skimming means, and scanning means like you have a question, you keep a keyword out of it. Like, for example, 1920, Denmark was famous for this. So, in the entire 2 to 3 page article, you will not read the entire article for hunting this answer. So, what you'll see is you'll try to streamline where is Denmark. Okay, you got Denmark, 1920. And then this is called skimming. So, after you've skimmed it, now you'll scan that part of the portion where you've got the answer. So, 2 to 3 lines, read in detail. So detailed reading of those only 2 to 3 lines will give you the answer rather than reading the entire article. So this is called skimming it. Likewise, there are a lot of strategies, that I'll tell you for reading. But as I said, we'll do it in detail on day 1 and day 2. As of now, reading is a comprehension. Questions are given on the back and you just have to answer the questions. You got it? Understood? Yes. Now for general and academic test takers, the reading is exactly the same type of questions. 40 questions, 1 hour, 3 passages, everything is the same. The only difference is that the general test takers, your readings are easier. They are less difficult on vocabulary. There is less paraphrasing. They are easy. The articles are easy. Why? Because you guys are not going for your higher studies. The academic students are going for their higher studies. So their readings are a little difficult. They are a little high end on vocabulary. So, general, the reading, it's a good news for you. Your readings are easy. The construction of readings, the parts, the everything like that I just, explained is exactly the same. But the level of difficulty is higher in academics and it's lower in general. Got it? Any question? Any question, any doubt about the reading test, anyone? Now again, the CBT test takers, you are going to type your answers on the screen. Now reading, again, spellings should not be a problem because you are taking it from the article. So please cross check your spellings because spelling mistake is the wrong answer here as well. There is one privilege to the computer-based test takers, what? That you can cut, copy, paste your answer. You select it and you copy, paste your answer. You can do that. But the traditional test takers, but it is just objective type. You're not writing anything very lengthy that it's a very big privilege. So it's just a little advantage that you can still cut, copy, paste. But the traditional test takers will have to write it and you obviously can't cut, copy, paste. So you again, if you given a question paper, you write it here, you have to transfer it on the OMR sheet again, like you did it in listening. But listening gave you extra 10 minutes, reading will not give you extra 10 minutes. So my suggestion to the test takers, paper and pencil test takers is that you directly write your answers in the OMR sheet. Don't write it in the question booklet. Question booklet is like a rough sheet. You can underline, you can scribble, you can circle, for your own help. Like when we are hunting the question, we can circle the keywords. So these things you can do on the question booklet, but write your answer directly in the OMR sheet. The CBT test takers also, you get this privilege. You have a highlighter. You can, if you want to underline something, because underlining and doing all these things, it's helpful in reading to hunt answers. So you can use a highlighter for that case, and you also are given a rough sheet as I told you. So apart from that, I don't think so, enough. So that's about the reading test. Any question, anything? No? Let's move to the writing part then. So writing, guys, is for 60 minutes again, like 1 hour. But in writing, you have two tasks. Okay? Task one and task two. Task one, listen to me carefully. Task one is for 3 bands. IELTS is on 9 bands. Have you heard? It's on 9 bands. Now I will give you the score scale also tomorrow, like how these bands are calculated. I'll tell you tomorrow. So writing 3 bands is for task one, 6 bands is for task two. Task one you have to write in 20 minutes. Task two you have to write in 40 minutes. What is task one? Task one is a descriptive report or table or diagram. So for academics and for general student, only this is the difference, that your task one of writing is different. Task one for the academic students is a picture. You're given with a random picture, okay? For example, a statistical figure, a bar diagram, a pie chart, a table. So you have to review that picture and you have to write a full report on that picture. So you have to explain that picture in your own words, but you have to write it formally. There's a proper structure that you have to follow for your writing to get maximum bands. I'll help you with that structure. So you have to write an introduction, you have to paraphrase the topic, then you have to write an overview, you have to give the major trends, which paragraph to give the major trend, and then there should be a specific agenda that you follow for each paragraph. What are the important parameters of your writing evaluation? How you get the best band score in writing? I'll tell you everything when I take writing, because I'm going to take writing with you on day 4. So I'll tell you that in detail and we'll write an open writing in the class. I'll tell you how to write it. So I'll help you with that. But as of now, what you should know is that task one is your report writing, that you have to write a formal report. And for general students, task one is a letter. I hope you all have written letters in your school time. A letter to a sick leave is something that we all have written. So we know, the structure of how a letter is written. So general students, you'll have to write a letter. You're given a situation. So letters in IELTS are situational. You're given a situation. For example, you went to your friend's house for your vacations. You had a great time there. Now write a letter to him. First of all, thanking him for being such a good host, and then invite him to your house. Also ask him the pictures that you guys had, together. So something like that. So they're giving you a situation. With the help of that situation, you write a 150 words letter, a very descriptive letter. So how to write a letter, I'll tell you separately. I'll take a separate session. We have a couple of separate sessions with the general students only to teach you how to write letter, because rest everything goes hand in hand, because the rest there's no change in the pattern of the test. It's all similar. Task 2 again is common for both academic and general test takers, which is for 6 bands. It is an essay. We all have written essay in our school times. So this is an essay that you have to write. Again, there are some common topics. You're told to write an opinion essay, a discussion essay, an agreement disagreement essay, an advantage disadvantage essay, problem solution essay. So probable all types of essays I will do with you. So don't worry. The most common topics of the essay I'll do with you. You all are adults, you know the common and the basic topics. Essay topics are very common. So don't be intimidated or scared. The topics might be on education, qualification, health related topics are very important. Then the traffic problems or the number of accidents or environment related problems, children, the upbringing of children, topics related to university students. These are the common topics. Okay, I'll do all the possible important topics with you, so you don't need to worry. I'll tell you how to write an essay, again, a descriptive essay, because writings also are demanding. Writing in IELTS has to be very well streamlined, very well written, with good care of, your grammar, your vocabulary, your task achievement. There are multiple evaluation criteria that are followed in your writing. So those, keeping them in mind, I'll tell you how to write a formal. The vocabulary is very important for writing. I'll give you a separate, we'll have a class for vocabulary as well. Now, discuss issues, construct an argument, and use appropriate tone and language. So this is what your writing is about, 2 tasks. The general writing strategies are: read the questions carefully. You have to, read the questions very carefully. You understand the question, only then you can give a constructive answer. You misunderstand the question, you will not be able to give an appropriate answer. Familiarize yourself with descriptions of data in newspaper and textbooks. practice formulating your own ideas. In writing, you have to think a lot. Only if you have ideas, then only you will be able to write down your ideas. So having ideas is very important. So brainstorming is very important in the writing part. So you having ideas, you document your ideas, then how you portray your ideas, then how you create sentence, the coherence and cohesion in writing, the types of connectors you use, the language and flow, the vocabulary, everything you have to take care of in order to get a good band score. It's not that you'll write anything and you'll get away with it. No, you will not. So you'll have to write very appropriately and very nicely in order to get a good band score in writing. So that's it about writing. Task one is for three bands. Yes, the minimum word limit there is 150 words. There is no, constraint to the maximum word limit. You can just overwrite, that's not a problem. But there is definitely a negative marking. You will be penalized if you write less than 150 in report writing and less than 250 in your essay writing. So you read the questions carefully, you familiarize yourself. I'll give you all the questions of details of descriptions of datas and pictures and pictorials that you get in writing, and also the types of essays. So these two. Now the basic difference between CBT and traditional test taker is in writing, because writing you have to write on a piece of paper. Other way around, the CBT test takers are typing it on the screen. Yes. So writing and typing. Word limit, yes, you have 150 and 250. So the major advantage, a little advantage that CBT students here will have is that you have a word count in front of you. So you have a word count, you know that I've written 120 words, 121. That word count, as you are proceeding your writing, the word count goes on. So you don't have to worry about that you've underwritten. But I have a very good plan, fallback option for the students who are taking the traditional test also. You Google IDP writing test sheets. Okay, writing test sheets. So when you Google it, you get the sheets. You can get a PDF. See the hard copy. You can just get printed it out. So practice your writings on those sheets. First time you write, you count the number of words. So you get a fair idea that in my handwriting on these sheets, one page, one page and 3-4 lines are making 150 words, and 2 pages and 2.5 pages are making 250 words. I don't want you on the test day to, after writing your 1, 2, 3, 4, because counting the number of words is 400, 500 words, you'll waste your 10 minutes. So you cannot do that. So you just have a fair idea of minimum word limit and you somewhere around write the same way. So it's absolutely no problem. I also always took the traditional test. So I have a fair idea of, in my handwriting. So because some handwritings are compact, some are loose. So in your handwriting, it's important to see. And also if you're taking the traditional test, it's not that you get bands on good handwriting. It's not a calligraphy test. You're not getting it on writing. But one humble request is that your writing should be readable. It's not about good handwriting get better bands, but if your handwriting is awful, it's not readable, then I would suggest you to go for the CBT test, because if you're writing it, your writing has to be understandable, decent handwriting. Okay. Any question in the writing part about the writing module? Anyone? Okay, how many of you are convinced that you are going to take the CBT test? Let me know. Okay, anyone who has already registered for the test? Okay, so you all are just planning. Okay, so have you made up your mind whether you will take the CBT or traditional test? Because we are done with the LRW. I've told you all about the major differences between the traditional test and the CBT test. So has anyone, more inclined towards that? Okay, I'll take CBT. Okay, Amber Gagan, what do you think? Should you be taking the CBT test or the traditional test?
Ma'am, I'm thinking about traditional one, and
Okay.
I'm still confused if I should give the traditional or the CBT, because I don't have the habit of writing, I mean the typing fastly.
Okay.
Yes.
That's okay. See, if you don't have the habit of typing fastly, so I think you should go for the traditional test. There's no harm. There's no problem. And if you want to take the CBT test because you think it has, as I said, there, because you have the word count, but it's not a very big deal, then you can just try your hand in typing once or twice, and just see that within 1 hour are you able to complete it. If not, then don't take any risk. But if I think you're able to take 20 minutes task one, and in 40 minutes you're able to complete your writing in 1 hour, both the tasks, because guys, after 20 minutes, there's an automatic submission. After 20 minutes, your task one is submitted. So it's important to write your task one in 20 minutes. So if you can type in 20 minutes, yeah, your speed is very important. That's a good point that you are thinking upon. If you have a good typing speed, only then go for the computer based test. Okay, you guys have time. You can think about it. No worries. So now, last but not the least, guys, I'm going to start with the speaking module. Okay, so it's a 10 to 15 minutes test that you're taking. Just a minute. Okay. So, just a minute. So, guys, I told you about the speaking. I gave you the little insight into how the speaking is conducted. It's a one-on-one discussion between you and your examiner. So it's a 10 to 15 minutes process. Speaking consists of three parts. Okay, let me first tell you the technicality of the test. It consists of three parts always. So this is the pattern which is going to be followed by the examiner. Part one is introduction and interview. When you sit in front of the examiner, he just starts with, please tell me something about yourself or introduce yourself. He starts with that. And then he might ask you anything, some personal questions about your likings, dislikings, and your life experiences. What's your favorite movie? Why you like this movie? Do you like going out? What time you like going out? You like going out in the evenings? What do you do when you go out? What time you do? What you like doing in the evening time? How do you spend time with your family? Which is your favorite time of the day? These very questions. What is your favorite color? So these are the short questions. So you have to answer them very appropriately. See, body language also is very important in the speaking task. Your body posture, the way you're sitting, the way you make your eye contact. A lot of things are involved here in the speaking test, because you're physically present and you're speaking. So when you're speaking, you are being judged. Of course, when you see a person, you see their hand movements, you see how well they are maintaining an eye contact, and what the way the person speaks, how fluent you are, or how you're abrupt, your speech is using fillers, so like or like, or some people keep a lot of time just repeating. So these are all fillers. You have to take care of all these things in the speaking test. So if you're asked what's your favorite color, you'll say, well, my favorite color is black because it's a very intense color. I love wearing black, especially in the winter season, and the place I live, in mountains. So it's most of the time winters. So it's cool. The environment is really cool. So I like wearing black. Especially, I love the black color jackets, sports, and overcoats. That's it. So what happened is, you cannot say that my favorite color is black. It's not your interview. Like, okay, ma'am, what is your favorite color? Ma'am, what is your favorite movie? You will not be giving one word answers. You are going to give constructive answers, because you're going to fetch bands from the way you speak. So you have to give justification of every answer without the examiner asking for it. If I ask you what's your favorite movie or what's your favorite food, so you have to give a justification coming ahead with it. So I'll give you, the ways you can answer these questions, and be very honest. If you like something, like what you do in the evenings, I love going out with my friends in the evening. I think that is the time to unwind. After a long, stressful day, I like to go out on a long drive and go to some good eatery. Me and my friend, we both are very fond of eating, so we go to a good Chinese restaurant to try something, and then we talk about our aspirations and future plans, and talk about our projects in science and whatever you want to. So that's what you do in the evenings. Or other way around, you can just say that evening is the time when I just want to relax after a long day from work or from college, and then from tuitions back to back. I just want to sit and relax in my room. I watch a good movie, or I watch Netflix, or I just listen to some soothing music, because it's very refreshing for me. So you have to give your, personal answer. If you like sitting back home, you say that. If you like going out, you say that. So it's a personal choice. What is more rejuvenating for you? What's more refreshing for you? And what works for you? You have to be very honest with your answers. The questions are very basic. It's like simple questions that you have on a coffee conversation with someone, that okay, how are you, what do you like doing in your spare time, do you, there are questions that they might ask, you do you prefer tea or coffee, so you can just give I prefer tea because again so and so. You have to give justification of every answer. So that's the introductory round where you asked about your family as well. Tell me who all are there in your family, so everything. Now part 2 is a cue card round. Cue card round means that you're given one topic where you have to speak in detail. So that topic is for say one question is given to you, and then you have to speak on that particular answer for 2 minutes. So it's like an extempore. You know what's an extempore? A random topic is given to you. You go through that topic, you prepare your notes, and then you speak on that particular topic for 2 minutes in a stretch. Now, this is the pioneer and the backbone of your speaking class. Why? Because when you are speaking in continuation, then you're being checked, you're being evaluated on your confidence, the way you're speaking, your body language, the type of connectors you're using, the type of vocabulary you're using, how well you can explain a topic. Multiple things are being judged in the cue card, because when you speak in a stretch for 2 minutes, then the examiner judges you better. So after this takes 3 minutes, 1 minute of preparation and 1 minute, 2 minutes of speech. After this, you're followed by giving the discussion round. For example, your topic about our topic was about talk about speak about a vacation where you went, recently went. So you prepare your notes, you think about, okay, I'll talk about this. You've thought of it, I'll go to Goa, or I went to a mountain, or I went to. So you have a structure. You can also note it down. They also give you a piece of paper. You can write down. You can scribble on that. In 1 minute, you can scribble on that. You can write as well. So now when I start speaking, I say, okay, last year after the examinations were over, I went to Goa with my family, and it was a very much awaited trip because we really wanted to unwind, and we all, or I went with my friends, you can say. For example, after the exam, we all had taken permission. It was so difficult to take permission from home. But after that, we took care of our budget, and we were, after having everything, after planning, so we booked our flight for so and so date. So you'll explain it to the core. We went there. I was mesmerized just for the beautiful place, the beautiful and spectacular views of the beaches, the mesmerizing views, the breathtaking activities that I did there. There was so much of fun and adventure. So when you look at the place, you feel so honored. You feel so glad. The views are breathtaking. You were mesmerized, spectacular. You see the words that I'm using. So there has to be a good adjective that you use in order to speak about a place. So all these things. So when you speak in continuation for 2 minutes, whatever, then you talk about the hotel stay also, that we were staying in this property and it was a beautiful property. It had beautiful views. So whatever you've expressed and explained, after that, there's a discussion topic. So what is part 3? That's why I had to speak part 2 for you a little bit, because I wanted to explain part 3. Now in part 3, guys, what the examiner does is he cross questions you. Okay, how often you go on vacations? Do you prefer vacations with your friends or your family? Would you ever go to a solo trip, or have you been to a solo trip? Was there any trip when you had planned a lot but you could not do? What were the problems that usually you face while traveling? What can be the. So all type of, what is this? This is discussion round. So whatever you've spoken in your task 1 will give rise to your task 3. The examiner cross questions you on whatever you've spoken. So that's called the discussion round. So these 3 rounds together make your speaking. Okay? Any question, any doubt? Amber?
Is it like if someone, I mean, if the interviewer has asked some question and we haven't experienced that thing, so is it like we have to lie about it and just create an imaginary situation about it?
Absolutely. The same incident happened with a student of mine who had come again, to me for the coaching. Initially, he did not get bans in speaking. Why? Because he was asked, because these topics are not changeable. You cannot ask the examiner to ask you something else. You cannot tell them to give you another Q card topic because this is difficult for you. You have no option there. They even don't give you 2 options. They just give you one question, one topic, and you have to answer it. He was asked, how you celebrated your last birthday. Now somehow that was a person who he did not believed in birthdays and he never celebrated it. So he was zapped, he was just confused what to say. So he did not answer. So here I think that it would have been better that if he had created an imaginary story, because nobody is going to cross check, verify. The examiner will not go with you to your home that, okay, show me the pictures where you celebrated, were you lying or not. And I think this much smartness we all have. We are the current generation. You have been doing it somewhere, tricking your parents, sometimes tricking your friends. You don't want to do something, you come up with excuses. Somehow, somewhere, we all do it. So sometimes you have to do it in your. I'm not saying that I'm not being a teacher telling you to lie, but sometimes here in this situation, if you're trapped, so safeguarding yourself in the situation is very important because you don't have a plan B here. So you could have said, last year, 12 midnight, and my friends were calling me, so there was a surprise party the next day. What these are all about, we all know, cakes, decorations, music, eating, and celebrating. If you don't want to do this way, you go to, an orphanage, you distributed something. So whatsoever you like doing, or you just had a simple birthday with your family. So you do not like to cut cake, you say that I don't like to cut cake. I rather like celebrating my birthday or it's just another day. But whatever your views are, speak it. Don't just get zapped. You just have to speak it. So you're right, Amber. So if you don't have an experience, for example, this vacation, even I did not go with my friends to Goa, I just spoke it in front of you, right? So it was an imaginary story only that I was telling you. So same way you can also do it, right? Got it?
Yes, and are there any questions that are asked, like related to something informational, which we
No.
no,
No,
okay.
it's not in an IAS, IPS exam. You are never asked about the current affairs. You are never asked about any abbreviation and tell me the full form of this. Or you're never asked about any general knowledge question. Not at all. The questions are this only: family, friends. What do you do in your free time? What is your favorite color? What is your favorite movie? Who is your favorite sports person? No, not generic questions. Okay.
Okay.
So it's easy. The questions are very basic. Right? Any other question, anyone? Any other doubt? So, guys, what strategies are required to get in speaking is that you have to speak fluently. Fluency is most important. You need to be fluent. You cannot be abruptive in your speech. You cannot take a lot of fillers because then you get a less band score. You speak fluently, that your ideas are coherent. Then you demonstrate a range of appropriate vocabulary. Vocabulary and usage of synonyms is very important. You use accurate grammar and appropriate language. You speak so that the listener can understand. Your understanding, your clarity is your responsibility. You should not murmur or whisper so that it's not clear. These are the speaking strategies. You get evaluated on speaking for 2 minutes, your relevance of the content, your grammar, your vocabulary, all these things, how proficient of a speaker you are. The scores, guys, that I'm expecting from you, 6 is a very basic score. 1 to 5 is something that we are not targeting at all. Still, 6 is still, applicable and accepted by various universities. So 6 is a not very great, but a competent user. If you get 6, you means that the candidate has generally effective command on the language. Despite some inaccuracies, of course, inappropriate usage and misunderstanding, still you can manage to get a 6. The candidate can use and understand fairly complex language, particularly in familiar situations, not in the unfamiliar situations. But what we are seeking is band score 7, 8, and 9. So I want my students to minimum get a band score 7. That means you're a good user. 8, that means you're a very good user. And 9, that means, of course, you're an expert user. With this, guys, I'm done with the demo class. Thank you so much. I hope that it was insightful for you. You've understood what are the prerequisites and the insights into IELTS, all 4 modules, the structure of the test, the structure of the classes as well. Thank you so much for the acknowledgement.